Hi, welcome to RMS Real Estate Team Channel. Home tips when buying your new home. Hi there, welcome to Buyer's Tips for Buying a Home. Today we're going to be covering the home buying process for home mortgage lender. Today we have Jeff Milat, who works for Augusta Financial, and he's going to talk a little bit about getting a home loan. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're already owning a home and buying a new one, not too many people buy a home every other year, so it's still all relatively new to you. Jeff, why don't you tell us about how long you've been in the mortgage business and a little bit about what you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff Milat. I am a loan officer here at Augusta Financial. We're the only direct lender located in Santa Clarita, and I've been doing this for over 30 years. And so I've been able to help a lot of folks to, buy homes. It's a great job. I get most of the time, super busy right now. Service levels can suffer a little bit, but for the most part, we can still knock out a purchase in 30 days. It's great to help folks to get into their homes, whether it's a first home or a move up home. I'm in my fourth home. I'm sure, Ron, you're in your second or third or fourth home. And, it's just it's a fun thing to help people to get into a home. It's a great thing. So it's very rewarding, especially when we do a first time buyer to get them into their first home. It's a great feeling to be able to help these folks. We have a lot of good products available right now. Interest rates are super low, and Ron and I will talk more about that. But yeah, it's a really good time to be a buyer as far as where the interest rates are at. You can buy a lot of home for not as much money as you would have expected, even a few years ago.
Great. One of the questions I get often is, where do we start? What is the buyer? Where do they start? What do they need to do?
Usually the best thing to do is, I'll have a phone conversation with them to make sure that all the pieces are in place to get a pre-approval done. And then I send them an email and I ask the borrowers to send over some income and asset paperwork. So pay stubs, W-2s, or tax returns if they're self-employed. Then, I offer to run a credit. We don't charge for the credit reports. And then we run this through the automated underwriting systems that are available to us now. And that generates an approval that's usually very strong. 99% of the time, if we run it through properly and we get an approval through one of the automated systems, that deal will usually go through. And so it's as much as we can do up front. So I recommend that everyone do that, particularly in an extremely competitive market like we're in right now, where there might be 4 or 5 or 6 offers there. It's best to do as much work as you can and highlight the important, the strong points in the file so that our client has the best chance of getting their offer accepted.
Great. I often tell my buyers, especially when they're long-term, they want to wait 6 months to a year out, always call a lender to develop a good relationship. You want to have a good, solid, trustworthy relationship with between the buyer and your lender out there. That way you know that he's doing the best thing for you. He or she, didn't say he, but in this case, he. But they want to be able to do the best thing for you to be able to get you into the house without, sacrificing food on the plate, so to speak.
No, you're exactly right. I have a lot of clients that, sometimes they don't buy a house for a year or two after I talk to them. Sometimes they got to do some work on their credit, or sometimes they got to save a little bit more money, or they're paying off some debt. There's various things that we can try to do to help the clients to get them in a better position. Yeah. And I can't help every client right now, and that's just a fact. But some of them, it's just a matter of a few months. It might be a year, but I never just kick them to the curb. I want to talk to them, and do this, and this, and you'll be in a position to buy a home in the not too distant future. And the ones that follow that up, it's very rewarding when they do that, because then we're able to get them into a home, and they might have thought they might never get into a home. So sometimes it's less work than you think, and sometimes it's a little bit more, to be honest with you. But again, each file stands on its own, and I'll do everything I can to get everyone into a home.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit about the difference between like your pre-qualified or pre-approved versus approved, so to speak. Those are terminology people often. What's the difference?
Sure. A pre-qualification generally means I had a phone conversation, maybe verified a little bit of the information, but not all of it. And generally, I get some clients sometimes they think their credit scores are a little bit low, and they're afraid of making it worse by having an inquiry done. It's a very common concern, that running a bunch of inquiries will lower their credit score. So in that case, if they have a recent report that they had done, or they have a Credit Karma or something like that, I'll use that number. And I usually like to at least see a pay stub and a W-2 so we know that the income's there. And then I'll write what's called a pre-qualification letter. So it's not as thorough as a pre-approval, but at least that's usually good enough if they need to go look at a property or something like that. The pre-approval is more involved. That's where I actually run the credit. I run it through the automated underwriting system, and I verify income and assets and all that, so that we know this is a strong file, that it's got everything there. Then I put together a pre-approval packet for the realtor. I put one page of the credit report that has the credit scores in it. I black out the identifying information on a bank statement, but just to show that they have enough money, for the closing. I print out what's called the findings from Desktop Underwriter. That's basically your online approval. Put all that together with my pre-approval letter, just to make that offer look as strong as possible. That's the best thing I think that we can do. We can also, when you mention approval, we can also get together all this paperwork and have a to be determined address, and we can submit that in for underwriting. So we can actually go through the whole underwriting process, everything obviously except for an appraisal and for knowing what the exact value is going to be. But if they're looking in, say, the $600,000 range, I'll put a $600,000 sale price in there, run it through the whole system, have the underwriters review all the information. And so that we have basically an approved loan that's only subject to getting a contract and then getting an appraisal done on the property.
Great. That's the strongest one. That's where it really helps, when, especially nowadays, when multiple bids in there, you get an offer, and the agent that's representing the seller, he takes a look and he sees that it's already approved versus pre-qualified. So it makes you a little bit stronger in this time.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Tell us a little bit about different loan programs.
Yeah, for your first-time buyers, one of the most common programs we use is an FHA loan. These are loans that are backed by the Federal Housing Administration. They allow the clients to get in with as low as 3.5% down. Can be all gifted. They can have co-signers. They can have really credit scores as low as 580. And they don't get punished a lot for their credit score being relatively low on an FHA loan. FHA loans are kind of more, I use the term pass-fail. Either pass or you fail. Everybody gets pretty similar interest rate, and the mortgage insurance rate is the same for everybody. So that program is really good for a lot of folks. If they have bruised credit, they just don't have a ton of money. And again, having the co-signers is a really nice thing to be able to do too sometimes, where we don't have quite another family member can co-sign on those. So FHA loans are really good for first-time buyers, but you don't have to be a first-time buyer to do an FHA loan. The next one would be a conventional loan. On a conventional loan, we generally, on a conventional loan, we can go with as low as 5% down. And 5% down, if they have really good credit scores, they'll actually get a lower payment by doing a conventional loan. The mortgage insurance for people with really high credit scores on a conventional loan is significantly lower than the rate you would pay for an FHA loan. So again, every loan stands on its own. I run them all both ways, and whichever one comes out best for the client, that's generally the way that we go. The third most common loan that we do is the Veteran Administration or VA loans. VA loans are great. There's for our veterans that have served, and they can get in with zero down, really all the way up to about $1 million. It's amazing what they can do. And there's no mortgage insurance on these loans, and the interest rates are right now they're in the mid twos. They're phenomenal programs, and it's great to help out our veterans with those particular programs. And obviously with no mortgage insurance, that's a great program, and they can buy a lot more than you might think, and really with zero down. So those are really good.
Great. Sounds like you're giving a lot of information out there. What's the difference between, you mentioned in the beginning that you are a direct lender and the only direct lender in Santa Clarita versus a mortgage broker or a non-direct lender. What's the difference?
Okay, a direct lender means we fund the loans with our own credit lines, and our funders are right here in our office here in Santa Clarita. So the nice thing about that, it means I can run paperwork across the office and have a funder look at an underwriter, review it, something like that. So there's certain advantages to being a direct lender and having all your staff right here. Again, I mean, it's the electronic age, so a lot of times we just email it over to them. But that's the nice thing, because once I get an approval from my underwriters, I know that the deal is good. We also have the ability to broker loans. Not every loan fits, there's certain out of the box solutions that sometimes we need. So we do have broker relationships with significant number of what we call wholesale sources, all for loans like the bank statement loans, where for self-employed folks, a lot of times self-employed folks don't show a lot of income because they have a lot of legal deductions so they can reduce their income. Well, that reduced income oftentimes is not enough to qualify for a mortgage. But in those cases, we're able to use their cash flow through their bank statements. We don't do those in-house. That's more of a subset of what we do. It's more of a specialty loan. So we have wholesale sources that specialize in those, and they're just better places to go than us trying to set up another whole department, to do that type of loan. There's loans that have the mortgage credit certificates where we can significantly help our borrowers to get a lower payment by using these certificates. Sometimes the county runs out of money. We generally work with the county in-house, but we have wholesalers that work through the state. The state usually has more money than the county. The county runs out of money pretty fast. So we can go broker the loan out to one of our wholesalers and do an MCC loan and use state funds. So again, every loan stands on its own, and having these extra sources gives us flexibility to be able to do, extra loans. So being we call that a banker and broker model. So we bank most of our loans, but there are, probably 10 to 15% of the loans are some of these specialty loans. And so we have the wholesale sources to do that also.
So you guys do a wide range of loans from beginning to end, and also those specialty loans as well, not just your everyday loans such as your VA, FHA, and conventional. You also do specialty loans too.
That's correct. We also can do reverse mortgages for folks 62 and over. We're doing some significant number of purchases on these now. So as our population is aging and folks are coming in, instead of them coming in and maybe spending $700,000 and putting all their cash into a home, maybe they finance like $350,000 and they take out a reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage has interest that accrues, but you just don't pay it. So the balance actually goes up every month, but it'll allow them to get into a home and not use all their cash. So they can hang on to maybe $300,000. So they got money to live on, and they never have to make a payment. If they, live to 120, they never have to make a payment on that loan. So again, more of a specialty, and we have wholesalers that we deal with on the reverse mortgages. They're really good programs for a lot of folks. And I'm actually doing a lot of refinances for folks that have been in their homes for a long time. They're house rich, but kind of cash poor, right now. And maybe they're in their 80s or 90s, and they've run through most of their savings now. We can help them, to get money out of their home and basically give them a lifetime income. It's a pretty good program for they're not for everybody, but they're good. They're a good program to have available for those folks.
It sounds really, really good, especially in this time of need of money, and also the interest rate being so low. It's really a good opportunity to take advantage of something like that. Well, that's great, Jeff. I really appreciate the information that you're giving, and give us some information on, if they would like more information or questions. How do they get a hold of you?
Okay, they can reach me. Best is on my cell phone. That's area code 661-212-2201. I'll say that one more time, 661-212-2201. They can go to my website, jeffmilat.com. That's pretty easy, JEFFMILAT.com. Or Augusta Financial, go to augustafinancial.com and they can click through to find my number, or they call the main office. And my email is Jeff, Jeff, at AugustaFinancial.com. That's August with an A on the end, financial spelled out, .com. And they can reach me almost anytime.
Great. And also, I noticed that you guys are available on the weekends too. So that makes it really, really nice too. So
Yeah, we
I'll
sure
go
are.
ahead.
I'm sorry. We
Yeah,
understand that folks are out buying homes and they need to get some information really quick when they're out looking at their homes. So I am available to speak on the weekends and again, to help out those clients that are out shopping.
super, super. I will go ahead and put all that information, Jeff, on the bottom of the video here. And so they can go ahead and reach you. Again, thank you very much for your time. I hope the information has helped you guys out there that are watching this video. If you have any questions, you know where to get a hold of Jeff, or you can get a hold of me, Ron Smith, at area code 661-904-5313. And I'm with Realty Executives. And all that information will be below the video here. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you.